In this lesson, I'm going to show you how to set up a Ledger Nano X hardware wallet and answer some of the most common questions that new users have regarding the wallet. Now, maintaining the security of your digital assets is extremely important. And the internet is filled with stories of people who simply did not take it seriously enough and they lost everything. Get a hardware wallet if you're going to be storing any kinds of serious amounts of cryptocurrencies for the long term. Why? Because it is the safest way to actually store your assets for the long term. Now, I recommend getting the Ledger Nano S or, of course, the new Model X. There is a link down below if you need to buy one. Please note, though, that it will take a week or even two for your device to be delivered. But before you buy your wallet, I want you to watch this video to understand what it is that you're actually buying and if you think that this is a security solution that you need. So you need to make that decision for yourself before buying one of these bad boys. And then when the wallet arrives, come back and rewatch this lesson for step-by-step guidance. So a hardware wallet is a dedicated device which allows you to securely store your crypto and which will only allow you to send your cryptocurrency after pressing the buttons on the device. Now, to understand the wallet a bit better, I want to address some common concerns that people have about the Ledger wallet before actually going through the tutorial and showing you how to set one up. The answers to some of the most common questions about hardware wallets, I think, also will serve as a great way to explain why they are important devices for the long-term storage of big amounts of cryptocurrency. So the first question most people have is, what if someone steals this device, or what if I lose it? Well, a ledger will reset after 3 failed attempts to log in with your PIN. Now, if this is your mistake, if you're just fat fingering the buttons, well then no worries, you can just reload your wallet using your recovery phrase. You have not lost access to your funds. It is a safety feature designed to protect you if someone steals your wallet. Now, Ledger uses a 24-word passphrase. The 24-word phrase is not the private key, but it generates your private key, much like the 12-word one for the Exodus. This means that you do not need to trust the company to hold your keys because your key is randomly generated. The Ledger company, they can't steal your keys or your 24-word passphrase because they don't know it. Conversely, if you lose it, they can't help you either because they do not know it. While many people are primarily concerned with hackers trying to steal their cryptocurrency, and yes, that is a valid concern, which the hardware wallet eliminates, many people lose their crypto because they do not take storing their keys seriously enough. That 24-word seed phrase is incredibly important. Do not lose it. Fires, floods, dogs, all these things can happen. Laminate your paper copy. It's a good way to protect it from moisture. If you have a fireproof safe for that 24-word passphrase, great, put it in there. Make 2 or more copies of your seed and store them in different secure places, preferably in different geographic locations. For example, at your mom's house in the next state or 100 miles away, or whatever it might be. Also plan for the unlikely but inevitable event of you dying at some point. Loved ones should be aware of how to recover your crypto holdings in such an event. So if you ever lose your ledger, or you get it stolen, or it burns up in a house fire, just remember that you can use that 24-word passphrase that you have been keeping safe to recover your wallet on a new device. Now, if you suspect that someone may have access to your 24-word passphrase, then move all of your funds off of your device, send them over to the Kraken exchange for a little bit, reset your device, and then load on a new 24-word passphrase, as the old phrase linked to your keys is compromised and accessible by a bad actor. And a new passphrase will be linked to new keys. The device is neutral, so new keys, new wallets. I personally always have a fresh ledger sitting around in a box just in case something happens to my main one. I can just get it out, boot up a new device quickly. But it might make sense for you to get two ledgers for this reason. But of course, it's completely up to you if that's something that makes sense for you. Also, please do understand that your funds are not stored on this physical device. No, they're not in here, right? You can't crack it open and get in. They're not stored on the device. Your Bitcoin is not in here. Your Bitcoin lives on the blockchain. This device just acts as your set of keys for interacting with the blockchain. Likewise, you do not need to connect your device to the internet to send yourself crypto. You just need the public address because you're sending it to the blockchain, not to the device. So you might ask, isn't this basically just a USB stick? Couldn't I just store my keys on an old USB laying around in my sock drawer or something like that? No, not really. The Ledger Nano X and the Ledger Nano S also have advanced security features and are specifically designed for the purpose of being the top hardware storage solution for Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. It is not possible to expose your private keys when using a ledger, when plugging your ledger into the internet, for example, unlike with a USB, which is easily hackable in that situation. Also, your wallet cannot be hacked and drained while connected to the internet. In order to send funds using your ledger, you need to physically press the buttons. No hacker can hijack that process remotely. They need to physically have the device, like you have. Ledger also allows you to store a wide range of different blockchain wallets on your device, so you can uninstall and reinstall these wallets as you see fit. No worries. Your funds are not lost in that situation. They're still there. You just need to reinstall the wallet on the device to access that wallet again. Also, please be careful of second-hand wallets. You might see a great deal on wallets over on Amazon or something like this. Please only buy from the official website. There are many stories of people buying used or supposedly new wallets from shady places online that were running great sales deals, only to have their funds stolen later because the wallet was compromised. Please be careful. If you're going to buy yourself a hardware wallet, use the link below to buy it. Also, a quick note, there's frequent firmware updates that happen to these devices from time to time. It's totally normal. This does not erase your keys or anything like that. Remember, if you have that 24-word passphrase, you're chilling, run the update, and you're all good. Now, with all of that being said, let's look at how to set up a hardware wallet and get into that tutorial. So we have here two different Ledger Nanos. Now the Ledger Nano S has been the go-to for a long time, but this is actually the older model now. The new Ledger Nano S has just come to the markets and it is a very exciting option. Now the Ledger Nano S is still a good go-to, so if you still want to pick up a Ledger Nano S, there's nothing wrong with them. They still work. They're still a great piece of hardware, but they just have the old button system here where we can see there's two click buttons on the top, whereas the new Ledger Nano X has actually got the buttons built in like this. Now aside from that, this only has 1 megabyte and this has 2 megabytes. So you can see they're actually a bit bigger as well. This has also got an internal battery in it, so it can work on Bluetooth with your mobile phone without having to be plugged into the computer. So there's a bit of a difference between the two. The Ledger Nano S is still a great model, but I'm not going to be covering how to set the Ledger Nano S up in this tutorial. We're going to be setting up the Ledger Nano X. So we've got our Ledger Nano X here. I'm going to go ahead and go and open it up and plug it in. Get that battery charging up. Great. Welcome to Ledger Nano X. Press the right button to continue. So we're going to go over to download the Ledger Live application at ledger.com/start. Okay, so we've got our Ledger Live app downloaded. We're going to go ahead and click on Get Started. So we're going to initialize as a new device. Now, of course, if you have lost your device, you can always restore device from your recovery phrase. We're going to be starting a new device here. So we've got the Ledger Nano X. We're going to go ahead and hook that up. Again, this is a very similar setup if you have the Ledger Nano S as well. So you can basically take this guide and apply it to the Ledger Nano S if that is what you're getting set up here. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and enter a PIN code. I'm going to make a really easy one. I suggest you do something much harder than the PIN code I'm going to put in here. So I'm just going to put in 7, 7, 7, 7. Now that's an easy to guess PIN code. I'm just doing this as an example, but you'll want to choose something much trickier, and you can even make it up to an 8-digit PIN. Now we are going to write down our recovery phrase. This is super important. You can see I've got this piece of paper down here. There is actually 3 of these included with the Ledger Nano X. So you can actually make 3 copies if you want. This is super important. Confidential, do not disclose. I do not recommend that you make a video of this on YouTube. Not a good idea. Anyone with this information can hack into my wallet. Now, back to the device here. So write down your recovery phrase. These 24 words are your only backup. Secure them carefully. Very important information. So we're going to write down words one by one. Word number 1, south. Now we have got our 24 words safely written down. You can, of course, make a second or even third copy of this if you want, but these 24 words are incredibly important. So here we have to confirm word number 1, which is south. So we're going to scroll until we get south. Both buttons to confirm. Word number 2. And finally, our 24th word, business. And we are processing. Your device is ready. Great. Now we're going to work on installing some apps. We're going to go back over to our Ledger Live. Now it's going to ask to allow the Ledger Manager. We're going to click both buttons to confirm yes. Now you can set a password to lock your Ledger Live app. You don't have to do this. It is an optional step. We're going to just skip over that for right now, but I would recommend doing that on your own computer. So now we are in the Ledger Live app. We're going to go to Open Manager. So the wallet doesn't come pre-installed with any wallets. So we're going to have to install the wallets one by one. We're going to install a Bitcoin wallet. Now we have successfully installed our Bitcoin wallet. You can see what that looks like on the device itself. We're also going to go ahead and install the Ethereum wallet while we're here. Something to note as well is that you can easily uninstall any applications. You can come over here and just uninstall your Ethereum application, for example, and that'll uninstall Ethereum, but actually you can still reinstall that later. It doesn't delete your Ethereum, it doesn't erase any of your crypto assets. You're just uninstalling the application from the device temporarily. You can always put it back on at any time. So if we come back up here to portfolio, we can add accounts. So we have two accounts that are already here. We have a Bitcoin account. Okay, now that we've got our Bitcoin wallet set up here on our Ledger Live application, we're actually going to make a deposit. So we need to go out over to receive. We're going to be receiving Bitcoin. We're going to click continue. We're going to verify the address on our device. So the device will actually show the address. So we're going to double click to verify and approve. Easy. So we're going to copy our address. We're going to go over to our Exodus wallet here and send some Bitcoin across to our ledger. Great. We're going to come over here and we're going to go to Bitcoin, send Bitcoin. Going to put in that address from our ledger wallet. You can go back over to Ledger and have a real quick double check there and make sure you got the right one on. That's it. FXW, last three letters there. FXW here. We'll go ahead and send all that Bitcoin across after paying our network fee and click send. And it's that easy. Now we can come back over here to our ledger, and very shortly that Bitcoin will show up as being received in our account. And it is that easy to send Bitcoin and to store Bitcoin in your Ledger Live application. So it's really easy. There's no excuse not to get a ledger. There's no excuse not to take your security seriously. While the Exodus is a fine wallet and it's great for a hot wallet, and it's a nice place to store some cryptocurrencies, it is not a long-term storage solution. You want to get yourself a ledger hooked up. Now, one of the great things about the Ledger Nano X is that you can use it with your mobile phone. So you have the Ledger Live app on your mobile. So we're going to go ahead and click Get Started, Ledger Nano X. So we got Ledger Nano X. We're going to click on Use Initialized Device. Yes, I chose my PIN code. Yes, I saved my recovery phrase. I can click Continue. And so we have to make sure that our Ledger Nano X is unlocked with Bluetooth enabled. We are there at the moment, so we're going to pair a new device. Yes, we're going to allow. We can now see that the device has been paired up. Go ahead and click Continue. And we can add our accounts over here to my portfolio. Now we can see our account has been added and we have a little bit of Bitcoin sitting in our account, which is super awesome. So now what we're going to do is send some Bitcoin back over to our Exodus wallet. So we're going to go down here to the bottom and click Transfer. Send funds. I'm going to send 0.0199. Click Continue. Click Continue. Now it's going to ask us to verify our transaction over on the Ledger Nano X. So we're sending that amount of Bitcoin. to this address. That is all correct. And I will accept that. Those are my fees that I'm paying here. I accept that and I send. And it happens that quick.